Hello class and welcome to lesson 5 of Earned Value Management. In this lesson we will briefly discuss the other functions that need to be included in your earned value tracking. We've already discussed in very much detail the manufacturing and engineering development functions of the program, and this usually represents about 20% of the total project during development. This is very interesting because it means that everything you've seen in these lessons up to this point is only 20% of the total project on a typical development program. So we've discussed that, but let's now go into other functions that need to be tracked that make up the other 80% of the project. So program management is your supervisors, your program managers of various functions, your team leads, oversight functions, and basically anybody else whose tasks are spread across many areas, and it's very difficult to discretely plan or determine what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. So this is usually tracked as level of effort. Like I said, since many oversight functions are included and they're not tied to specific discrete tasks, so it can't be apportioned. This represents about 10% of the total project, which is not a huge amount, but it can be a pretty significant program management staff on a large project. So that brings us to procurement and supply chain management, which, believe it or not, represents about 70% of the typical development project. That means most times the project is an integration function and is procuring many of the subsystems from various subcontractors, and of course procuring COTS parts off the shelf, resistors, capacitors, many other off-the-shelf parts. So in-house procurement department may track the COTS material when they are ordered and received, and then the supply chain management department will track EVM at major subs with as much detail as in-house effort. That becomes projects in itself when you have a supply chain manager who's responsible for the work of a major subcontractor. So between procurement, ordering piece parts, and supply chain management, managing the major subs, and the material costs for these tasks, that represents 70% of the total project costs. So of course this needs to carefully be included in your EV tracking, being as it's such a significant portion of the program, and sometimes it's very challenging to figure out how to put this in your EV baseline for when material will be received and when actuals will be incurred. So you'll know how to plan your BCWP and BCWS to coincide with your ACWP, because you don't want to have variants that carry over from reporting period to reporting period because they're not synchronized correctly. So the remaining function is quality assurance. And many quality functions such as hardware inspection, software reviews, and oversight of engineering and manufacturing tasks will be considered LOE, and they'll be tracked as straight BCWP equals BCWS, so there's no schedule variance. Some quality functions will be tracked discretely as weighted milestones, such as supplier evaluations, manufacturing readiness reviews at suppliers, and customer reviews based on where they occur in the IMS. Now, I did not assign a percentage of quality assurance because in most functions, quality assurance is part of the manufacturing and engineering development, and the higher level management can be attributed to program management. So the percentage of the program represented by quality is really included in the 20% and the 10% I have on the first two bullets. So basically, it is very critical that all these functions be included in the IMS, the PMB, the SAL, and the EV tracking documents: Integrated Master Schedule, Program Management Baseline, Statement of Work, and EV tracking documents, so that is properly planned, it is properly budgeted, and it is properly tracked for earned value in order to not have unnecessary variances. And that is it for this lesson. If you have any questions, of course, contact me, and I would be glad to go into more detail or explain some of these functions further. Thank you, and have a great week.